I worked about 10 years ago as a prostitute for 2 years in a brothel in Berlin. And I gained so many insights into my own psyche, into conditioned sexuality, into the unhappiness of men sexually in this culture. And I had to talk about it. And I suffered and suffered and suffered for 10 years during the time when I thought it's too dangerous to speak up.
Yeah.
And then I was offered a book contract, and finally I said yes. And after signing it, I immediately wanted to die because I was, oh my God, they will kill me anyway. And the interesting thing is that as a prostitute, I'm not the first prostitute writing a book. I'm not the first prostitute analyzing prostitution. But I didn't know about books of ex-prostitutes that don't fit into the cliches of being the victim or the sex goddess. And I'm neither the victim nor the sex goddess. I'm not a sex goddess at all. I'm just a person in between. So I had to take all my pride in order to stand all of my fears. And I was deeply convinced when like my book was published in Germany in fall 2017. And I was deeply convinced a few weeks after the book is published, a man will come and shoot me. It was so clear. He will shoot me, of course, because my psyche went into, I'm so afraid, so terrified of the collective punishment for me revealing something that isn't okay to be revealed.
Yes.
Am I right as a prostitute? Certainly not. It's not about right or wrong. Yeah. I'm just a prostitute and an ex-prostitute. Am I wrong? Certainly not. And you are certainly not the one telling me that I'm wrong.
Right.
Because this is not about sins, and this is not about shame, and this is not having to justify how you live your freedom or unfreedom, and this is not about feeding our shadows. So it took me so much pride and also so much aggression to fight for my right to publish whatever I want to publish. And this is an instant, or this is an example of how I fled to the front. And when you say, can you recall a situation in your life where you feel you have to do it, even though you think, until the moment you have done it, you think, I'm too weak for that. And only the action proves you are not too weak. You could even stand even more. It's so fascinating how the art of revealing forces us to face our light and our power and our core that is unbreakable, even more than it forces us to face our shadow and what we can't do or can't stand. That's what I'm really fascinated by. And I think the art of revealing, or let's say the courage of revealing, it's the courage of being honest with your mistakes or your weaknesses and all of that. And when you master this kind of courage, the next courage comes up and is even more courageous, facing that you are okay. Yeah. And facing that you don't have to say sorry for anything, that you don't owe anything to this universe. And I think this, to me, this is even more scary. This is even more I think it's even more a taboo in our society, especially for women maybe, or for women in another way than for men maybe, of standing up and saying, I'm visible. And I'm not only visible with my non-makeup and with my mistakes, I'm also visible with being some kind of perfect in the moment. And this is, it's even more.
Yes.